Hello, my darling cupies. This might be the last video of this little series for the time being. More details will probably come in the future as I kind of mellow out after all this. It's just, I don't know, I kind of faced a really big fear today in filming these, like talking about this stuff out loud and also uploading it and having the balls to do it. I refuse to take them down because it is my story, it's my trauma. It's all impacted me in some way or another. Whether it's background information that should have made my father make a smarter decision, or it's directly something that I went through. I don't give a fuck. It's part of my story regardless. So if any of my family decides that they're gonna take an issue with it, they can sit and spin. Like my grams would say, rest in peace. I miss her. I really wish I would have gotten a chance for her to know me when I got older. I swear, I know I was a little shithead when I was a kid, but I've grown to be such a much more level-headed person, and I feel like she and I have a very similar view of the world and very similar sense of humor. We were pretty fucked up. She swears so bad. She's like a sailor. I swear she was. She didn't give no shit. She was just this older woman who she swore all the time, smoked nonstop, and just had no plans on stopping either one of those. She's like, I'm this old, I'm not gonna stop now. But anyway, yeah. I'm planning on actually sharing a lot more little stories of Grams on here. Now this is not an examination of my mother, so I have actually not mentioned any of her in this because while she has inadvertently caused me trauma, I also don't hold it against her. She was struggling through abuse and her own mental illnesses, as well on top of an addiction and her own traumas. Mom, she was an orphan. Both of her parents were dead by the time she was 15. I mean, and her own family screwed her over and kicked her out and left her homeless and made her a ward of the state until she became an adult. She was stuck fending for herself, basically. Actually, she got emancipated before she even got to become an adult. But yeah, as you guys can see, I have not been succeeding at not picking. My anxiety's through the roof. So I've just been, and I'm like, I don't even care. Today's not the day to care. That's what I've kind of been like going nuts about, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of my beef with Tina. I'm not bringing up any of Heather's bullshit other than the fact that Heather tried to drown my uncle. By the way, his name is Jessel, in case anyone was wondering. Yeah. I hate that he has Pap-Pap's name, because it makes it very difficult to not be triggered anytime we talk about Pap-Pap. Like, anytime my family calls Pap-Pap by his name instead of calling him Pap-Pap, it's like, why do you keep doing this to me? Like, I know that is not intentional, but Jesus. Fuck. Anyway. It just, sometimes it feels so exhausting. Nope, I should not have done that. I should have realized that the rotation was not gonna shift on that. So yeah, that was an oopsie on my part. That time it was someone downstairs. But yeah, I think, truthfully, I mean, one of the things that my mom, one of the things that she had kind of done growing up that was kind of traumatic, but also not something that she could very well control. See, my mom, she already has an underlying issue with epilepsy, and when she was really not doing well with managing the epilepsy and was in the midst of her addiction, she would have a lot of seizures, and she used to fall on me a lot during those seizures, and I would end up crushed up under her over and over. This happened quite a lot. But that's not something I ever held against her, because like I said, she's kind of had a long history of epilepsy. My dad wants to say that her epilepsy was caused by her drug use, but it's not true. Her epilepsy predates the drug use, and there's record of that. Dad just wants to smear her good name so that she can't speak out against him. He wants to remove all power of her voice, just as he wanted to do with us. Discredit, so that no one would ever believe us if we spoke out. But I'm too literate and too good with my words to be able to be silent. And he is not that good of a manipulator to really save his own ass. So once people start, like, if people start around him actually start seeing this video and shit, and like confronting him about it, he can't do shit. He can't do shit. He can't talk his way out of it. That's the thing. Because I will always bring more to the table. Just understand, I know a lot. I'm only touching on the very basic shit right now. So if he fucking wants to cause trouble, I will spill everything. No holding back. Because let me tell you, he ain't never had me fooled for 1 second. I know that bitch ain't loved me ever. He never did anything for my sake. He was only using us as pawns for control over my mother. Even I saw it as a fucking child. How dense did he think I was? And then, of course, there's the fact that I had to, like, fucking grow up like this. Childhood who? No wonder I fucking surround myself with dolls. Not that they really mean much to me anymore. They used to. They used to, when I was in a better place, mentally. But now it's like, I don't even feel guilty at the idea of, like, abandoning them. You know, once I leave the mortal coil or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm just saying. It used to be a thought that brought terror to me, because it's like, what would happen to my dolls, my precious babies? And now I'm just like, who gives a fuck? I won't be here. It doesn't matter. You know, it's a very different thought process compared to what I was where I was before. I used to be dead afraid of death, because I used to think that I don't know, I used to be afraid that, like, Tina's religion was correct and that I am in fact going to be punished, that I've done something wrong, and that I deserved things to go wrong inherently because of how I was born a girl. And how I am kind of queer and really broken. I just, so between that and my mom's multiple suicide attempts, those are pretty much the most traumatic things that I had to actually witness in my childhood. Not that I witnessed every time she tried to kill herself. I only witnessed that once. She said some things that she didn't mean, but she was not in the right state of mind. She was really not in the right state of mind. She was spiraling in her mental illness, dealing with Dad being, well, traumatizing to her, and also feeling guilty for traumatizing us. And that's actually what ultimately, that one attempt that I witnessed, that she did in front of me, she left after that. You know, had said something about me betraying her and that it was my fault. And don't know. I didn't remember it for a very long time until a few years ago when it started to like reemerge in my dreams. And now it's like, yeah, I don't remember very well. I don't remember the actual, I remember the words before and I remember the result after. I don't remember the during. I do know the logistics of what she did. She slashed her wrist in front of me. But I don't remember it. I just remember the before and after. Her running, hiding in the tall grass so that the authorities wouldn't scoop her up and force her into hospital. Her realizing how she probably fucked us up and feeling so guilty that she just decided not to come back in our life, really, until much later. And now she carries a lot of guilt because she had no idea. She thought we would have had a better life with Dad. She had no idea that he's a fucking monster to his own children as well. Of course he is. So, she couldn't have known, and I don't hold it against her. She wasn't well. I can give a little bit of side eye because that's a little bit of questionable choice to be doing, but I understand that she wasn't. She was suffering a lot of like episodes from her bipolar and stuff. So it really kind of like was this whole like. I don't blame her. I've seen how messy bipolar can get. One moment on top of the world, the next like fucking ready to go crawl under a rock and be done with it. To put it in mild terms, very mild terms. But no, I think that the biggest thing that I feel like I'm going to question for the rest of my life that makes me physically sick to my stomach to wonder and to contemplate, because it makes no sense. When the math doesn't add up, the math doesn't add up. But I mean, I'm clean. You see, my dad got with a woman named Joyce. Hey Joyce, how you doing? I've been trying to find you, trying to reach out to you because I really need closure. If you happen to fucking be watching this, Joyce Merkel / Nickerson / whatever the fuck your last name is now. Well, you can find me on Facebook. But yeah. And she became the face, the head figure of the horror. And as a matter of fact, she became an amplifier of it. See, Dad's lazy at the end of the day. So if he's gonna abuse the kids, if he can find someone who will carry it out for him, even better. Yeah, what the fuck? He's delegating his abuse now. Don't get me wrong, they both fucking abused us. Yeah. Joyce became a subject of nightmares. But Joyce was also the person I fucking finally opened my mouth about shit to. It's like, yes. A woman person. This is a safe person to confide in, right? I roll. It's all good, y'all. My failure to thrive is because my core is completely destroyed. Completely rotten. There's nothing but festering decay of infected wounds that were never fucking intended to, the way they should have been. Just covered up and concealed and left to fester and rot. No wonder I've begun to turn septic. And now I begin to fail to thrive. No wonder. So Joyce helped with as a matter of fact, with Joyce came 4 extra children. Suddenly, I was the au pair / bonus mommy to, 7 children. Grand. Now, I'm still haunted by a lot of that. We starved a lot during those years because of how they were strictly rationing the food while stuffing their own greedy faces. Yeah, that's the kind of people that my dad and the kind of women that he's gone for after realizing that he can't go for someone soft like my mom, because she simply won't do it. She'll break. So he had to find another monster like himself. And then he blames that person for any of his evil behavior. Horse shit. Sorry, I was chewing on my lip and I don't want to eat the skin. Anyway, so yeah. And after 4 years of being together, they broke it off. We were 10 people crammed in a 4-bedroom house. And god damn, that many people in a house that is also a hoarder house. Let's just say I started to feel some very dark thoughts back at this time. Mostly just ones of wishing I wasn't here. Regretting my own birth. That's when I really started to fucking feel that, because it was just too much. Plus, I still had to be a straight A perfect student. Yeah, by this point, I was in middle school, so it was like super crucial, paramount really, that I am a perfect student because I'm old enough to know better, or else I'll be punished. So I got good grades. I was a good fucking kid who just wanted to die. And sometimes I think back, and there's this one kid who did die in around this time, actually. I don't mean this time the school year. I mean this time in the year, but no, around this time period that I'm referring back to, my middle school years. It was our last year of middle school, and he had an asthma attack that triggered a heart attack, and he died. And sometimes I still think about him. Sometimes I think about that. And sometimes I wonder how it is that I'm still here. I was skin and bones. I was actively starving and still having to take care of an entire household, living on these measly rations. While my siblings stole what food I did manage to stash, including stealing the food from the parents. Yeah. Something I did not have the balls to do. I was broken enough, I didn't want further breakage. So Joyce cheated on Dad, which was really beautiful, karmic justice. And in that, he also found out that she had given him herpes. And this is where the math doesn't math. Upon finding out about that, I get taken to get my blood tested for the very same. I'm the only one, mind you. I am 13 or 14 years old, mind you. And the claim is, well, you guys could have shared razors. We didn't. They were greedy assholes. I was stuck using the same Bic dollar store razor over and over while she had her special ones that I was not permitted to touch. It was a baloney story to begin with. I knew the rules and I followed them. And I'm not going to lie, that has left the question heavy in my mind for the remainder of my fucking existence since then. And I don't think I will ever be able to crawl out from that question. Why? What do I not know? What do I not remember? These are the questions I am plagued by. Because that's not a logical fucking decision. Oh, I have this very fucking permanent fucking thing. Let me go test and make sure my daughter doesn't also have it. Excuse the fuck out of me. I think that shit, like thinking about that, that shit last summer had me so fucking triggered, man. You don't even fucking know. Because I was sitting there like, oh my God, what if there's even more that I don't even fucking know about? And it's like, and then I started becoming afraid, like, what if it actually did come back positive and I was lied to about it and that it's been concealed to cover things up or something? You know, because I was still a minor, so my blood tests would have come back for him to have seen, not for me. And I've been filled with this, like, absolute fucking terror and dread ever since, and it just makes me want to fucking perish. I'm just so tired. I'm so fucking exhausted. And the thing is shortly after this is actually when I came out as transgender. Weird. Started deciding to present as a boy. Made me feel safer. Interesting. Made me feel safer from my own father. But he also ridiculed me and bullied me and actually got very foul with his language and actually made me feel worse somehow and more unsafe. He would make comments about my biological sex, making sure to rub it in, making sure that I never could forget or get out from under it, blaming past trauma on the trans identity, whatever. Okay. Whatever. Stick to your narrative. But one of these days, your grave will be a gender-neutral bathroom, Father. Free for anyone to take a piss or a dump anytime they please. Because the thing is I should have never felt unsafe to begin with. And the fact is when I did that, I was immediately punished by him doubling down on being weird. Him making comments. Like, he made comments before, don't get me wrong, but he doubled down on it to make me feel even shittier. Like, I'm not going to let you run away from this, basically. That's how it felt. It felt like being cornered like a trapped goddamn animal. I'm not going to let you hide from this. I'm not going to let you hide from the trauma of your sex. I'm not going to let you hide from the filthy way it makes you feel when I make comments about you. Fuck you, Dad. Fucking cunt. That's why I wish you a goddamn happy Father's Day. As a matter of fact, I've been playing nice all these goddamn years. And then I decided, actually, it's not worth it anymore. I don't care. I don't care what you have of mine. Give it to my siblings. I don't give a fuck. Not like I'm going to be here long enough to really see you die first anyway. No, but I'll be here long enough to ruin you. I'll be here long enough to be heard. And that's enough for me. You disgust me. And when I was getting bullied in school, in high school now, we're in high school now, he blamed the bullying on me. Told me that if I didn't want to be bullied by my peers and threatened that I wouldn't have been putting myself in that position. I put myself there. Once again, my struggles were my own fault. I mean, at least the bullying in elementary school wasn't my fault. I was just autistic as fuck. Swear to God, best autism test. Look at the children. Who did they single out? That one just might be autistic. Just saying. Somehow kids just instantly know. Because I had no friends. Even when I did have friends, I knew they weren't really my friends. They're fake. They were using me. That's the thing. So, the bullying's my fault. Fine. Getting threatened with sexual violence at school by my male peers. Yeah, that's fine too, I guess. It's all cool. And the thing is I couldn't do anything about it. The school would do nothing to punish these people because my dad said, no, let this bitch suffer. Let this bitch know the consequences of their actions. Yeah, that was my dad's fucking attitude about it. Thanks. It would have been really, really, really funny if I killed myself in high school. That would have looked so good. But no. I had to wait. Bide my time. No. I've been waiting for the perfect moment. During the high school years, that's when Dad got with Brandy, who is also our cousin. You sick fucks. They're married. Third cousins or something? I don't know. Don't care. It's still gross. Did you know that Ohio has a higher rate of that than West Virginia? Thank God I'm not in Ohio. They are. Just saying. They're not doing Ohio any favors. But whatever. Yeah, so I don't give a fuck. There is nothing left here for me. I will never own a house, and I will never know retirement. I will only know the slow burn horror that is watching my body decay around me and being unable to do a thing about it. So, this is all I've got left. The very spite that kept me alive all this time, the thing that I was going to sit on and wait until I was big and famous and successful to fucking put out into the world, it gets a little bit of an early release. So here we are. I'm scared to know or to dig further into my own past because I'm scared of what kind of memories might be buried. I'm scared of what I might discover. And I'm scared I won't be able to live with it. Because I feel like I've already lived with way too much to even fucking be considered like I don't have a whole lot of faith in humanity. If one's own family can do such awful things to you, what is there to hope for? If an innocent child can be destroyed so irrevocably without a shred of remorse from the perpetrators, plural perpetrators, then what kind of world is this to even be in? And it's that question And that pondering, that leaves me wondering, is it even ethical to have kids? I don't know. I plan on getting a full hysterectomy. I want my uterus gone. I don't want any chances. And besides, with my health conditions, the fucking shit would kill me anyway. So then I'd end up with an abandoned baby in this world. With me being dead. If the baby even fucking made it, that is. Stuck without me protecting. Because, I don't know. Yeah, I just refuse. Fuck that. Getting my uterus removed so it can't happen. Because I think of everything in my life that has been the scariest concept of all. The idea of bearing children. That was always my worst nightmare. It scared me more than anything I've ever known. Like, I had so many fears. Even as a small child, once I put two and two together and realized what was happening and what it, how that, works, I guess. Once I understood how babies were made, well, actually, it wasn't even something I needed to understand. It was something I innately figured out. 2 and 2 equals 4. Because what are things adults do that I'm forbidden to talk about? That I'm too young to know anything about, and yet not too young to be destroyed about, though. Okay. But yeah. I turned 18 in September of 2017. 10 days later, I moved out. I moved in with bitch-ass Tina. Wanted to see if time really changed her at all. If she was any better. And she's not. She's worse. Yeah. So, I moved out of there too. Moved in with my mom when she got out of prison. Her and my stepdad. My stepdad was a cunt. No offense. I know he's dead now, but no offense or anything. He kind of was a cunt, though. He was very disrespectful to me and did not respect my identity whatsoever and would intentionally be a dick about it. But still felt safer with him than my own father. Yeah, friend. And it's interesting how I'm not the only one who kind of grew up a bit and reached a certain point and then decided, maybe I should be a boy under my dad's roof. Interesting that. Very interesting. Not that I'm implying anything or anything like that. I just think it's a funny and intriguing trend. Almost like we tend to not feel very safe. Dad, stop fucking pointing out things about your fucking children. And choke on a fucking dick. Mostly because I know that would be the most humiliating way for him to die. He's so homophobic that the very idea of even considering a dick anywhere near his throat, let alone for him to be choking on one. Beautiful. Brilliant, really. Yeah. So, I'm not even sure if I even know my full story. And I'm too scared to find out. And then, like I said, I moved out of mom's house after a month, less than even, and moved into my own apartment, where I would graduate high school, living in my own apartment independently as an adult. And I have been independent as an adult ever since. For better or for worse. Really, all I've been doing is basically flirting with death this whole time and not taking care of myself adequately because I don't give a fuck to. I've been going to therapists my whole life. They're good people, they just can't help me. I'm beginning to realize that. You can't help someone who is beyond helping. Especially when they've already decided what the solution to the problem is. There's no changing their mind at that point. For right now, I wait out the clock. But once shit starts to go wrong, with my health and shit, gone, done. Curtain closed, done. Fuck that. I can't keep, because, turning into an adult, you would think that I would suddenly have all these freedoms. No, my body decides to fucking hate me. I became chronically ill at 16. Yeah, so not only was I being bullied, struggling mentally, but I also became chronically ill as a teenager and watched as it took away my athletic and academic careers. And it took away my will to live. Yeah. And now here we are, all these years later. And I am only sicker. I had no idea it would get this bad. Instead of enjoying my youth, instead of enjoying freedom, I have been living like an old person because my body hates me. I've been using walking sticks since high school. I wasn't allowed a cane. No. You're too young for a cane. Fine, let me use the hiking stick. Fucking cunt. I'm not too young to be fucking crippled. But whatever. And yeah, just everything gets worse with the health and everything. So, like I said, things start to go downhill really rapidly and there's no sign of things ever improving. I'm taking that exit without hesitation. And if anyone holds it against me, that's kind of a dick move. I am really exhausted and I am only here for other people right now. I have not wanted to be here for a very long time, and I am only here because there are people here who want me to be here and need me to be here. Who would be too devastated if I actually were to fucking take that exit. But how long am I going to be able to stay prisoner here, in my own body as it decays, I mean, I'm still going to school and shit, don't get me wrong. Still gonna get educated. You never know. That shit might come in handy or something. I might actually fucking surprise myself and survive. Never thought I'd see 18 and yet here we are, so who knows? I might have to live a very long life. That very idea scares me. And exhausts me simultaneously. I am already so fucking exhausted. It doesn't feel like there's enough good to outweigh the bad anymore. That's the issue. And it feels like there are too many things going wrong at once. Simultaneously. That's the other issue. So yeah. I'm in a wee bit of a dark place. The fact that I'm losing sleep again kind of has only escalated that further. The fact that I had 2 days of fucking rest and I almost had my hopes up for half a second. Almost for half a second. Kind of made it a lot worse, actually, because I got a little bit of peace, and then I slowly watched as my nights got whittled away further and further until suddenly I'm pulling all-nighters again and watching the sun come up, and then my body will let me sleep. I'm so exhausted. And I'm never going to regain function in that leg. Not the same way that it used to. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, this is really fucking depressing. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the darkness that fucking consumes me on a daily. I hide behind jokes and cringe behavior to kind of distract from it. You know? Memes. But at the end of the day, no amount of distraction can change it. And yeah. So for now, I just trudge through. Soldier on, I guess. In the trenches. Damn, this is a bit of a downer. I'm sorry. That's the thing, is when one is raw and emotional and honest about their feelings instead of guarding everyone from them, it does tend to be a bit of a downer. You'll notice how I kind of am not at a loss for words like I normally am, where I'm like, let me think of something. Crochet? Where I'm like trying desperately to grasp at something that I can pretend to be excited about. Pretend that I'm like looking forward to. Pretend that I'm alive. I have such a harder time with that. Whereas being this just completely honest and raw right now, it's been the easiest time I've had in front of the camera, even though it's been the most terrifying thing I've ever done in front of the camera. And this is coming from someone who actually tried to start up an OnlyFans, which, by the way, made me want to die even more, by the way. So yeah, thanks for that. I am homeless and disabled, and my family doesn't love me. And I'm broken beyond repair. So here we are. I'm just so tired now. Thanks for watching and listening to me bitch and moan about, like, everything. I will say, I'm a shitty parent. I did a really shitty job raising my siblings. I kept them alive and kept them clean and kept them fed, but that's the most I did. I didn't do anything to actually help them develop into actual decent people, and I feel guilty for that. I should have known better. I should have known they needed more. I should have known. I was a kid myself. I knew that we needed more. I just didn't know how to, I didn't know how to be more. When I was also so lacking. So I blame myself for how my two youngest siblings have turned out. I do. It's not like I think that they turned out like super awful or anything. I feel like there's a lot of pain there, and I feel like I didn't do enough to keep that from happening. There's just a lot. I just feel guilty for all the time. I feel guilty for surviving my childhood, because had I died of starvation on those instances where I felt like I was going to at any moment, rather than fighting through and surviving out of spite, if I would have died, the rest of those kids would have gotten out of there. They might have been spared additional trauma. But no, I had to fucking live. I had to survive. And as a consequence, everyone's just ruined. I don't know. I really need to fucking Sorry. I really, really, really am trying to not end on a downer note, but I'm genuinely having a hard time pulling it out. The fake, yay, everything's fine kind of shit, you know? It's kind of hard to pretend everything's fine when you don't even want to fucking live anymore, you know? So, it's kind of getting harder to fake, I guess. And I do apologize for that and how it might impact my content going forward. I'm not sure how it will impact my content going forward, but if it does, I do apologize. I will try my best to not let it. I really do try to show up and be, you know, the cheerful, happy, positive, you know, version of me that everyone adores, the bubbly. Everything's great, everything's fine. Sure, I have my struggles, but everything will get better. Everything has to be an up note. I don't even fool myself anymore, though. I don't even know if I'm fooling anyone else. That's the thing. I no longer feel, all of those overwhelming emotions I felt earlier. I just now feel hollow and drained. As if I have just spent all of today puking my guts up. That's how it feels. Reminds me of back when I got the migraines and couldn't keep food down. 16 years old, I had a whole summer I spent in bed because all I did was have migraines and puke. It sucks. But yeah. I'm here. And I am going to vape some weed and contemplate my existence some more as I try to convince myself or gaslight myself into believing that there's a reason to stick around so that I can avoid and so that I can see another day. Because each day this is a fucking constant battle. Each day I have to fucking argue with myself on whether or not I feel like living. Each day I come back to this very same spot in my mind. Because simply I don't want to be here. But I am here. And I have to convince myself every day and have the same debate with myself every day to convince myself that, you know what, we can hold out another day. That's the thing. I'm negotiating with myself for my life on a daily basis. Every night. And the later into the night it crawls, the more dire it starts to feel. When I'm the most alone with my thoughts. And it's odd how much I find myself craving for self-destructive things. It's odd how much I find actual comfort in self-destructive things. So, it's completely fucked. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I will be in a better mood, or at least better at faking it.